What's up, Otaku fam? We are back with more reactions here for the channel with some more TheAMaazing. It's been a while since we did some of him on the channel, and I see he's been posting more recently, so we're going to start getting back into his videos, because why not? We have traumatic school stories with illymation, so if y'all want more of his content here on the channel, be sure to let us know which videos of his we should react to, because we haven't watched a lot of his stuff, so whatever you suggest we probably haven't seen yet. So let us know, and who knows? Maybe we'll do more of him like we've been doing more of Ice Cream Sandwich. That's been a joy to watch. So
That has been fun.
The more you guys like the videos and watch the videos, the more we'll do of that content. That's all. That's how it works around here. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. And check out our Patreon. Link down below for full uncut reaction to TV shows, animes, and movies. Let us know some of your traumatic school stories down below. If you do, maybe we'll reply with some of ours. Who knows? We've got plenty.
Hello, where am I?
Hey, Alyssa!
I love what you've done with the place.
So I got traumatized in school, and I only want to tell you about it.
Cover your ears, go la 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 la, not for you.
Yeah, and before you do that, just like subscribe, please. Thank you.
Hit the subscribe button and then mute the video.
Damn.
Have you ever had people sabotage your school projects or assignments?
I don't think there's been active sabotage to my education. Because sabotage, that cuts deep. What happened, Maz?
Mrs. Alyssa?
Mr. Mazing?
Mrs. Mation?
Mrs. Mation.
The state that I lived in Australia, they had a system in which you were actively competing against everyone in your high school to be better than them.
No. Oh, they're setting you kids up. This is Hunger Games.
It was Hunger Games. Oh no, it was cutthroat.
You're out for blood. Were there like alliances and stuff?
Oh, Alyssa. So there was a group chat that was created with some of the top scoring high school students. And it was like, hey guys, this is a group chat for all of us so that we can help each other and
Stay
all
at the
of us
top.
get the best marks possible. On paper, it sounded great. So myself and a few others started sharing our current assignments, what we were working on, our data that we got. And then the two people that started the group chat locked everyone out, kicked us all out, and took all of those resources for themselves.
Oh my god!
We were 17. Like, what are you doing? Like,
What the
that wasn't even like the worst of it.
Maz.
I was in chemistry, laptop open, working on my assignment. I turn around because my friend in the row behind me just wanted to ask a few questions. I turned back and one of the people turned my laptop around and deleted my assignments.
What?
Just like straight up recycle bin.
And then empty trash. You can't trust anybody. I'd be like, you did this! And like jumping over the desk.
Absolutely. Like, I just couldn't believe somebody would be that malicious to do that.
That shit just happened in front of you, and instead of reaching across the desk to choke them out for it, you sit there like, these are good humans. Why would they do such a thing? And that really just shows what good of a person you are and how bad of a system this was.
It's so crazy. They grew up there from middle school to high school, and for them, this was just like normal.
Oh no!
This was expected.
No!
And like, even to a point where I started to feel a bit of sympathy, where this one guy who was like top the entire grade in middle school every single year. And in the last 2 years of high school, me and there was one other person that came into that year, we took the number 1 and 2 spots. And so this kid who was topping every single year was no longer able to top for the final 2 most important years of high school. He still got like a very good mark, went to medical school, like did everything right. But at the graduation event, I was sitting next to him and I was like, oh, where's your parents?
Oh.
And he looked at me and said, my parents didn't come because they were disappointed in what I got and that I wasn't
Jesus
worth coming.
Christ.
And the worst part
my
was, Alyssa, he said,
Bro.
Oh,
What the fuck?
That makes me sad. I'm not gonna cry, but that I'm about to cry.
My God,
Jesus
dude, that is like
Christ.
next level. You are going into a retirement home as soon as you have to. Like, I'm not taking care of you in your old age. If you treat me like that in high school, bro, are you shitting me?
He's just a child.
this with such a straight face. Like, he didn't view this as a negative. He was like, yeah, this seems reasonable.
He was like, yeah, why would they come to this? I'm not good enough. It's just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the final year of high school. This is the last year.
Oh no.
And they just didn't care.
That's what's also not fair. You make a competitive environment and you get everybody in on it. I guess, yeah, it makes kids want to do better, but they want to do better so that their parents will and show up to graduation. Glad you made it out of school. Yeah. Glad you made it.
A habit that I had in school, that I still have now, to be honest, is that I game all the time. I love finding the next game that I can sink my teeth into, because right now I'm so into Genshin Impact, and that's an entire video in and of itself. But the newest game that I'm getting into is Zenless Zone Zero, the sponsor for this video. This is a brand new game that came out earlier this year.
Yes, the Gooner Game of the Year. It's cool, bro. Anyways, let's just get on out of here. Feel free to let us know your favorite Gooner waifu from Zenless Zone Zero.
We're pretty funny, Alyssa, but did you ever have a memorable class clown at school?
Ooh, I have a story for this one.
Ooh.
So-
what do?
This kid has like a whole arc.
What's their name?
I do not remember.
Jared.
Let me not do that, but you'll see why I almost went with it. Anyway, this kid
Oh,
in my
no.
French class
That doesn't
who
bode
was a
well.
class clown, but when you're learning words in other languages, sometimes they can sound like other things, so he would like use that in his stand-up comedy, I guess.
Oh, we
and I
be.
remember one day he unzips his jacket and he goes to put his face in there, and I'm thinking he's like vaping, but then I hear him crunching. This guy had an entire Subway like footlong in his jacket. And that's why I'm like, oh my god, we can't call him Jared.
Oh, Jared.
But he had this entire foot-long sandwich.
Hey,
like,
hey,
inside-
that's better than what I thought you meant by
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Because
That's
side of
funny.
his jacket, and he's like taking crunches of it at dead ass 8 in the morning.
Based.
Based.
Giga Chad.
So, okay, you have this ultimate like class clown, and I remember the worst thing he ever did. My French teacher was talking about hat sizes, and she was just telling this really sweet story about how she and her husband went to go find him a really nice hat, and they found out wherever
cat
they
that
went,
may or
the
may
guy
not
at the
be in a hat.
store looks at the measurement and says, "Oh, you have a big head." But then the class clown guy goes, "Ooh, yeah, I bet he does have a big head."
Oh, that's weird. That was a stretch.
The whole class laughs, and I remember her face fell completely. It wasn't embarrassment, it wasn't anger, it was just this silent, sad shock. And she just looked at the class, and that's when the feeling of, oh, he took it too far. Like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something along the lines of like, I need a second, that's not okay, and like walked out. A couple weeks later, she was not bulletproof, but she was different.
Like, she checked out from you guys.
She checked the fuck out, and I cared about French because I cared about her, and I was like, I think you're a great teacher, a great person. I don't think you're worth joking about, especially to the point where you're uncomfortable. Like, I just tried to show that in my work. A couple weeks after that really horrible incident, we're in the middle of class, she's in the middle of talking, and then she gets a phone call. All the color drains from her face, and she just kind of sits there, and we're all just waiting, and we don't know, and she looks up and was like, my brother just died.
Whoa.
And the
Jesus
class is
Christ.
silent. So she says, sorry, I need a minute. She gets up, she starts to walk out, and the class clown stands up and gives her a hug. And then we all were like, oh my god.
Okay.
Then he sits back down and she goes outside. But I just was like,
I love how he's got all the Subway
He did
sandwiches.
not just get full personal growth. Like,
Yeah.
it was wicked.
I was expecting the worst, man. Holy moly.
I'm not gonna
Glad
lie, I
that
thought
was a good
he was
ending
gonna
for
joke.
My boy.
And it seems like he made up for it.
There was this one kid.
His
his
desk
name
is
was
made of
Matty
Subway
B.
sandwiches.
Matty B. Shout out to Matty B.
He was so chaotic. Everybody respected him and then feared him slightly.
They're like, that Matty B guy is weird. I dig it, but I'm gonna stand back.
Yeah. And similarly, like the entire year, we have to sit like a statewide exam. And then during one of the practice ones, we all put our name down in the name section. And instead of putting his full name down, he just wrote Matty B. And then we get a school-wide email from the principal that literally was like, hello everyone, who is Matty B? That just cemented himself as like, why did you write Matty B? Why didn't you just write your full name? And he was just like, yeah, I'm Matty B.
Wanted, Matty B. Reward, 3 more French fries at lunch.
Like some of the things that he would do became memes in the year,
Most
and
likely to
still
become
were
a
memes
meme.
years after. Like he had this catchphrase
No.
where anytime he would lose an argument, he would just look at someone. He's like, "Oh mate, look at your head." He would just win. And it was like, yeah, okay, my head.
Damn.
Point where even when I went to university, I like linked up with somebody from high school, and then she was like, in the middle of the conversation, she's like, "Yeah, but your head," and I was like, "No,
The curse.
no,
You headed me.
I feel like that would follow you into like, you look at your like suit on your wedding day and you're like, I think I'm good. And then in the back of your head, you hear, yeah, but your head. You're like, oh, yes, thank you, Maddie. The ghost of Matty B.
Thank you, Maddie.
Look, if no one's got me, Matty B's got me.
Maddie B's got you,
But
dude.
now he's influenced me and I'm never gonna forget him.
If I meet you and you say your head, I'm actually gonna freak out. Like, I think I'm gonna freak out. Oh my gosh, have you ever had to deal with bullies?
Yes, absolutely. But I feel like if someone's like, nope, never been bullied, it's like, oh, so you're the bully.
Ooh.
Facts.
Yeah, you're
No,
probably right.
no, but that's facts. I truly believe that you've either been the bully or you were bullied, and usually if you were the bully, you were bullied at some point anyway, and that's why you became the bully. Because as soon as you could be the other role, you were like, I'm gonna do that shit. So I don't make the rules. I'm just letting you know what happens.
Something I do think about is like, would I have become a YouTuber had I not been bullied? I probably would have ended up in the same place. Personality-wise, though, I think I'd just be weirder and have less shame.
I think that's like a very reasonable answer.
Right.
Not to say that being bullied is a good thing.
No.
I found that with being bullied, everyone has like a coping mechanism to survive it, right? And I think sometimes that can be bad and sometimes you can have a positive outcome. When I first came over from Pakistan and Japan, not native English speaking countries, and so when I went to then live in New Zealand and Australia, I found it very difficult to adjust because I just wasn't able to speak English.
Yeah.
And so I got bullied because I was like the weird one there. Because I got so bullied, and if I am going to stand out, I want to stand out in a positive way. I want to be funny. I became more extroverted and more comedic because I had to learn to survive it.
Right.
So that's like a positive that I gained from it. But the negative is I was so sick of being...
I feel like that's what most people go towards. That if most people who get bullied become funny, because that's the easiest way to get people to like you that you find. Because it's not hard to become funny, I would say, especially when you're little. It's harder to stay funny as you get older. Yeah. Because at some point, comedic differences happen, and then it's like, you're not being funny anymore. But as a kid, being funny is the easiest way to be quote-unquote popular while not being the typical popular kid, because that's how I stopped being bullied too. It was me being the class clown. To this day, my family still wonders why I'm not a comedian in real life. Doesn't matter. And then once I finally hit my growth spurt and I wasn't so tiny anymore, because that's why I was getting bullied all the time, I just immediately, no one wanted to bully me anymore. That was the only thing they bullied me for. So once it stopped, they were like, nah, that guy's cool. Yeah. And I'm like, nothing has changed except my physical height that I had no control over. So here we are. So I got to develop my funny personality early, and I just kept it.
You are funny.
And now here we are.
You are funny.
Bullied in middle school and high school that when there was somebody else that other people were kind of picking on, I would pile on because I was like, I don't want this pain anymore, and I want to make that stop. And I think in retrospect, that was such a poor way of handling it. I feel really bad.
But that's the normal way that happens.
The hard part about being the person that everyone picks on, you are literally throwing spaghetti at the wall to make it stop. Once a big group has all turned against you and you have no one, you just kind of sit there and have to deal with it, and you wait for them to move on.
I think it's something that we both try actively in our lives, but also in our content to show that, hey, if you've made past mistakes, you can always learn from them and grow to become a better person. Thank you so much, Zenless Zone Zero, for sponsoring and making this video possible. Thank you to my loyal Martians, to all of the people making fan art, and thank you, Alyssa, for joining me on my video.
Thanks for having me. Again, love what you've done with the place.
If you want to watch more of Silly Illy, head on over to illymation, where she's just dropped her new...
Well, shouts out. Not when Sunday school scared me.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ. If you want us to react to that, let us know, Otaku fan. That sounds like a funny video to watch. Oh, yeah.
I will say I never did that, though, with the whole where it's like if somebody else is getting bullied or picked on, I never jumped on that trend.
I never became the bully, but that's... Yeah. I'm not going to say that that's because I was a good person. I was not a good person back in school. But once all the attention left me, I kind of just faded into the background. So, like, a lot of people knew me. A lot of people who knew of me because I was like many other people. Once I moved where I moved to for middle school, I was there from middle school all the way to high school. And I was with the same group of kids for all 6 of those years. Mm-hmm. So people knew who I was. And so just from that alone, I just kind of faded into the background. And if I saw bullying, I just walked the other way. I didn't participate in it. I also didn't stop it. I was like, bro, we all got to go through that. In my personal opinion, I looked at it as like, bro, everybody's got to go through it. And you will learn to navigate your school life appropriately when it comes to being bullied. Now, there's like levels of bullying, but it's also why when we watch anime, I'm like, that doesn't exist. Like, maybe it does in Japan, but it's just like, there's a certain extent of bullying where like, bro, it's never that fucking serious. Like, I've never seen somebody be like in danger.
Well, that's
while
the
they're
whole
being
difference,
bullied.
like, between Asia and here. Like, there's just a lot more... I don't want to say it's more physical over there, because there's a lot of physical stuff that happens here, but it's, like, a level of... between blackmail and emotional manipulation. Like, not saying that's not
I'm just saying
here
that's
either,
just
but
so
it's
crazy that happens over there. Because it's like over here, yeah, like I said, it'll get physical, but at least here in the States, in most places, I'll say, I'm sure there's exceptions. If you fight back twice, they'll typically stop
but that's
physically
the thing,
putting
too,
hands
that
on
doesn't
you.
really happen.
I know over there for
there.
many other reasons
Yeah.
why, but here in the States, it's like you just throw a punch at somebody, you just have to knock one of them out.
Yeah.
They'll leave you alone because they don't. Nobody really wants all that smoke over here in the States.
That's always like the huge difference. It's so wild to see in anime or like K-dramas or Japanese movies and horror movies is the level of bullying.
Bro,
and know
extortion,
it
blackmail,
exists in the world
fucking just
over
all so
there.
much shit, man. I'm like, good lord,
Yeah.
I would drop out in a heartbeat over there. Be like, I'm not dealing with any of this, or I'm going to jail. One of the two.
But
You extort me, I'm killing you.
fuck bullies. It's a good time. Right, little baby? She's asleep.
Thank you guys for the continued support. Let us know your traumatic school stories down below, and we will see you for the next video. Bye.